it's truly a magnificent learning experience for me as well. So thank you for choosing me and just being here with me through this journey.
No, thank you so much, Roma.
Nice. So we'll start with the first question. My first question was, how did you find out a way or a willingness inside you to reach out to me out of you might be knowing so many other people, right?
So it is really strange, Roma. I the first time it was like a calling. I just did not know what it is, but the only thing I did was I listened to my heart. My heart just told me that I need to speak to you. I didn't know why. I didn't know what. I mean, like, my mind could not make sense of it, but there was just a voice. The first time it came, I didn't listen to it. But the second time it came, after 3, 4 weeks, I just took the courage to, follow my heart.
Mm.
And that's how I met you. And I was the day I still remember, Roma, when I was walking into your house, I was so confused. I had no clue. Basically, my mind just could not make sense of what's going on, why do I want to talk to you, why I'm at your house. So it was something that my rational mind just couldn't make sense. But I am so glad that I listened to my heart and I took the courage to listen when it made no sense.
Mm. And if I may ask you, what motivated you? Because oftentimes there are so many things in our life that make no sense. And just like you said, when the first time the voice came in, you didn't listen to it. And then the second time, what really motivated you to take that step, even though you were so confused and probably nervous about why were you even doing this? So what do you think was the motivation that second time led you to take this?
So I think the trigger for me, Roma, was somewhere I was feeling my whole body was feeling, my whole existence was feeling very choked with emotion. So I was feeling really choked from inside. And it's just, the situation I was in, there was just so many emotions, and all I can describe in one word, all those emotions and how I was feeling was a sense of just being like just getting choked with so many emotions. And I think that was deep down just the trigger, though I didn't know, like, I didn't know what you do. I don't know, like how that trigger, I mean, like, how can you help or whatever? Like, no clue. But I think the trigger, I would say, was just the feeling of being choked. And
Mm.
just my heart, kept telling me that I need to go and speak to you, but my mind just could never rationalize any bit of it.
Mm. Amazing. I like how you describe that feeling of when all your emotions bubble up and they kind of get clogged here in your throat, and you feel externally no one is actually choking you, but on the inside you feel like that's it. I either cannot breathe in anymore, or you feel like these porcupines just coming out and just, burning you from the inside, and you kind of get tired of feeling that way and you want
Right.
rescue,
You
right?
want the freedom. All I needed was the freedom.
The freedom, right? Wow. And then what happened when you first came to meet with me? How did it start making sense to you in the first meeting itself? What help or what guidance did you get that told you that this is working?
So I think most, I would say, I was looking for liberation. And I think in that session, Roma, I think I was just going with the flow. And, what you helped me do was, recognize a fear, which I was, it was, you helped me recognize a fear which I didn't even know I had. It was so powerful, so intense, and I didn't even know. So I was taken by complete surprise of what happened in that moment with you.
Mm,
And what I felt after our session was something so intensely powerful. Well, because in that moment, my entire body felt free. I felt like the entire choking has gone away. I felt so light. I felt full of energy when I left your place. And I think, I tasted liberation for the first time.
mm,
And that was so powerful. And it's ecstasy, I would say, that you want again and again.
mm. I know what you're describing. It feels like you tasted it once, but it's not enough.
Enough.
It is such an expansive feeling that you want to experience it more and more now.
Yes.
And also, like when you say liberation, I know exactly what you mean. It's like you're saying that you completely felt free from that choking, from
Yes.
that inner where you were suffocating. You
Yes.
now finally feel like you can breathe in your own body.
Yes. Completely breathe and just be and be so free. There was nothing which was holding me back. It felt like I was just so alive.
Mm. And then after that, like after you had that session with me, then which was what, like 1.5 2 hours, like I can't even remember now. It felt like such a short span of time, but it was so intense. We
Yes.
were so into that process. And then what happened? Like, how did you continue to tap into that feeling after you left, and what impact did that make in your personal life or work life or even your family life?
So I think that day, Roma, with your help, what I did was I faced one of my biggest fear, which was loneliness. And I think that the tool that I learned that day was affirmations. So, I had this affirmation that came from my own self, that it revealed to me that I am enough and you cannot scare me anymore. So, those were the affirmations that I would continue to practice and remind myself if at any point in time loneliness would come. But the interesting thing was, that day I think I completely won over that fear. I did use those affirmations few times, just gently reminding myself of that. But that fear was no more there. It never came. So it was just, I fully faced it.
Right. So, wow, this is beautiful, because what I've learned from you saying that even though you felt liberated at that time, you went back and you thought that, oh, I have now found these affirmations that I came up with, and now I have this tool that I can use. And even though you tried to use it, but you really never needed to, because that fear, you actually, that means liberation was true, that you actually felt free and you had actually won over that fear. And how did that reciprocate in your way of being with your family, or doing your professional work, or even just doing all the roles and chores you do in your daily life?
I think, it made me more present, fully being present with my family, being fully present. It was like, in a way, Roma, I would say it was like a rebirth of me, where the Sakshi that was living the life afterwards was fully present and was open to all emotions, new emotions that would come. I was not somebody like, was choked and hence was not even present.
Mm.
and with my family, with my profession. So I felt like I was living fully, me just being who I am in my totality. So it is like, yeah, I mean, basically, the way I would define it is I was fully present. There was no constrictions. I was there 100%. Versus, what was happening before was, if this body and this me, if the whole is 100%, then, I would say that about 80% of me was, if you just cut me into pieces or just take that energy away, then it was essentially who was present before the session in this entire world, in my job, or whether it's me with my friends, or whether it's me with my family, with whoever. I was just 20% present. But
Mm.
what happened afterwards was, that 80% of my energy, which was being sucked out by a fear, and which was, which had created just way too many emotions and doubt. I think once I got the liberation, that 80% was given back, came back. So 80 plus 20 is how I became the whole me.
Mm. And what did that do to your confidence, or to what did that presentness bring? Because there are a lot of people who say that they made a commitment to do some work, and then they did it, and then they fall out of it, right? They just cannot find themselves to stay committed. So what did that wholeness bring to you? What did that presentness change for you, as we kept even doing the work after that? So it's not like you just found yourself to be more present and then that's it. Like, you kept doing the work on yourself, you kept doing the daily practices to even keep yourself in that state of being present and in that flow, right? So
Right.
what did you experience?
Hmm. So basically, just experiencing that liberation and just being whole, l- it became it became very important for me to continue to be in that state,
Mm,
and I was ready to do whatever it takes for me to be in that state. And I did realize that it's going to be a journey. It's, something in like it was like a beginning of a journey for me.
mm,
So I felt that if this is, something that I can experience, then I wanted to just be on that journey and continue to experience what more and more I can get out of it.
mm. So for me, it feels like what that presentness did was it began for you, or opened the door of you developing a relationship with your own self. And
Yes, it was.
and it was that loneliness that you always kept feeling, because of which you clinged on to people or situations or circumstances on the outside. And we all do that. We all live constantly on, when that happens to me I will be happy, or when he or she is with me I will be happy. We have based our happiness on the outside. And this was the time when you realized that, wow, I can just be present and feel 100% whole.
Mhm. Yes.
And that's when you started developing this relationship with yourself.
Hmm.
And you gave yourself the permission to start loving and honoring and, being okay with parts of you.
Yeah. No, that is so true, Roma. It was a journey within. And that was the first time, I looked within, and what I experienced was so liberating, so beautiful, that it just became a a constant, motivation for me to just continue. It was like, just opening your door and seeing outside a place, a garden which is full of flowers, and such a beautiful experience that you're like, okay, I want to just experience more and more of it and just go on this journey.
Mm, right. So, so So like you beautifully described, like you opened the door and you saw this beautiful garden with beautiful flowers, and you now want to just keep looking at that beauty, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the beauty that you have tapped into. And there are so many people out there, Sakshi, who are still stuck looking for validation, approval from the outside so that they can
Mm-hmm.
then become full. They feel like when they look at the outside, then, or something will get done on the outside, and then I will get this promotion, or I will get this new job, or when my mother-in-law, father-in-law, whatever, like my mom or dad will start holding me as their best child or as their best daughter-in-law, whatever, only then I will become complete. What will you, why should they take this step of, doing this work for themselves? In your words, I would like to know.
Because what everyone is looking for is not there outside.
Mm.
There is nobody who can give it to you. There is no place that you can find. You just need to close your eyes and just go within. There is only one place to find it, and there's only one person who can find it, which is you.
Mm. Wow. So this is what I say is that I, as a coach or a guide, have no other job but just to help you dive within deeper.
Mm-hmm.
And so now the question comes, Sakshi, that fine, if you are telling me if it's all inside to just close my eyes and do it by myself, then why can't I just do this by my own self? Why do people need help, or why do they seek help from external sources?
That's true. I think, Roma, it's a path that, or it's a journey within that has to be taken by each one of us. But what happens is when we are on a journey, or when we are, I would say it's in a way also learning, we are learning about our own self. And see, when anything we learn, we need, what happens is, sometimes you may have questions because you're learning. You are still not, an awakened self. If we are calling this a spiritual journey, then you are not an awakened self. So you are still learning and you are on that journey. You will have to walk it. But as a child, he needs parents, right, to just hold the hands, tell him how to stand up, and then walk, and then run. You need to be taught. You need help of somebody who has done that. So just like, the best metaphor that comes to me is a child. See, a child is given a life. He's the only one who can live it. He has emotions. He's the only one who can feel it. But there is a parent, who helps the child, be on that journey and become that, complete adult. And for a child, adulthood is when, the parents can let go. So similarly, as we are on the spiritual journey, we need help. There will be points when we have questions. There will be, and that's where, a coach or somebody who has, has more experience than you, can help you continue on your journey, bring more clarity, and so that you can continue. And sometimes I feel that having a coach can really help you go on this journey much faster.
Mm, beautiful. I love the example that you gave of a child and a parent, because I honestly feel as parents, our job is not to dictate,
Mhm.
this is what is to be done or dominate their life, but just
Mhm.
um, be one of the torchbearer or the guide or the coach, right? Where you just keep showing them the right path and the right, but
Yeah.
not necessarily they will walk there. They will make their own set of mistakes, and they have to. But
Mhm.
at the same time, if somebody is constantly shining light at that very few distances, at least the falls will be less hard and
Mhm.
less hurtful, right? Otherwise, when you fall in the dark, your fear paralyzes you more than the fall itself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
It's
when you fall in light, you have the ability to react and defend yourself,
yes, yes,
right?
yes.
That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. I, because of the role that you play as a mom, as a working mom, right? You are also working, and you have a job, and a very respectful job, and a life. I want to ask you that, as a mother, women usually find it very, very hard to prioritize themselves and really make that investment of time, money, and energy in themselves. They feel like, no, 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 let me just put my children forward, or my husband forward, or the whole house forward, and not me. What How did you take this, this journey of coming out and just investing the time, the energy, and the money in yourself? And what can you say to the woman who's sitting out there and now thinking that, no, like, it can't be me because I'm supposed to be on the back burner?
So I think, Roma, there is this one very powerful quote somebody shared with me, and I think I would want to share this with every woman who feels that everything other than ourselves is our priority. And I will read this to you. It is something that I remind myself constantly.
Mhm.
It says, self care is so important. When you take the time to replenish your spirit, it allows you to serve others from the overflow. You cannot serve from an empty vessel.
Mm,
So, what I would want to say to every woman out there, or to every person who deprioritize themselves, is that if you can never serve from an empty vessel. So, and especially as moms, we are truly based, and we work from a place where we want to serve our family, we want to serve our husbands, we want to serve our bosses, we want to serve. We really are truly a very giving soul, and we want to be in service of everyone around us. But if we truly want to do that and be successful, we need to fill our vessels. What we want to give to others, we cannot if we don't have it.
mm,
So that is my biggest learning, Roma, that why I need to take that time for myself. And the way I do it is I do it the first thing in the morning.
mm,
And so that's why I need to fill my vessel up first thing before, I start with my day, which is about, serving and giving to others, whether it's doing something, helping my boss, or whether it's something to help a colleague, whether it's something to help my daughter, whether it's something to help my husband, whatever it is.
mm.
But my vessel needs to be full.
That's brilliant. I love how you said, because there was an interview I heard of Oprah, and it reminded, like, I could see her in you when she says that a lot of people say I'm full of myself. And she said, yes, I'm full of myself, because overflow is the only place we can serve from. If you are going to serve from a half cup or from a three-fourth filled cup, know that it's going to get vacant if you don't have ways to fill yourself up.
Mhm.
And when you talk about self-care, that brings me to, a lot of busy people, men and women both, like parents, are now, because of the COVID situation, we all have time to stay inside. But otherwise, in our routine day life, when we are constantly running behind school activities, then after school, coming back from job, running and doing cooking, managing all of this, what would you say to them, that why is taking this time of self-care? Like, some people say, oh, but I go to the spa weekly, which is great. But what would you say to them, that why would they need to develop this daily practice, or this daily discipline of, taking out time to pause for themselves? Why would it be important for them, Sakshi?
Yeah. So I think the question is what is it that you're looking for. So if you're looking for physical fitness, yes, going to the gym is good. You can do yoga, you can run in the park.
Mm-hmm.
That will give you what you want. But if you're really looking to discover who you truly are, and if you are willing to, go on that journey, and if you're willing to take, like what I did, listen to just your heart and be on that journey, the only way to know yourself, if that's what you're looking for, who you are, what's your purpose in life, and if you have those questions that you're looking the answer for, the only way to know yourself is to be with yourself. And one of the easiest tools that many people who have gone on this journey have spoken about is meditation. That is a time when you are just with yourself. And to know something, you have to spend the time with that something.
Right. That's beautiful because I hear people saying, "Oh, but I've been like I can meditate because when I close my eyes, there are like these 10,000 thoughts, and then I don't know how to sit with myself. I just can't do it." Right. And either they give that excuse or they give that I don't have the time excuse, or like my life is just too busy, and oh, I did it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but I they don't really feel it. But I like how you distinguish that what is it that they are looking for. If they are looking to find their higher purpose or connect to truly who they are and find the answers of by being awakened, I think they need to find a way to dive within. And again, like you said it, I think it's as as easy as it may sound, that oh, meditate, and there are billions of apps there, but there are this doing this by themselves is going to not be as easy as it is going to be when you do it with a guided
With a coach.
coach, right? Yeah, thank you. I think this is beautiful. I love that. And anything else, Sakshi, you want to say before we wind up?
So I think the only thing I want to say is, first of all, just I want to thank you, Roma, for really, giving me the show, opening that door for me. I would say, if you wouldn't have opened the door, I wouldn't know what lies ahead. And with, the desire to, or that commitment to really go within, wouldn't have been there. So that just changed my life completely. And the journey that started that day is so beautiful, so empowering, and so fulfilling that I feel that if I would have not had this opportunity or this experience in my life, it would have made this entire journey of life so incomplete. I'm not devaluing the life that we are living as a professional, as a mother, or the roles that we are playing. I think all of those experiences are truly important. But also, what we need to make time is to just sometimes, for many people, it's taking the leap of faith, I would say, what I did, because my rational mind can never understand what it is. It's only the heart that knows. And I think taking that leap of faith and experiencing this as another dimension of life, which will make the journey of life complete, is truly, truly important.
Mm,
And a coach is such a powerful tool on this journey that I am so blessed that I discovered that there are people who can help me in this journey. So many times, it's like I'm like, okay, this is a journey I got to do, I got to read, I got to meditate. I wouldn't know that there are people who can really coach you. This is what they do. I know there are doctors, I know there are psychologists, but I didn't know that there are coaches who can help you on a spiritual journey.
mm.
So yeah, thank you so much for opening up so many doors and, just being there with me on this journey.
Awesome. It has truly been my humble pleasure and honor because, like I said, and that's true for every spiritualist. For you, it may seem like I have done this for myself before you, but there is no before and after. We are all climbing a ladder. You might just be 2 or 3 steps behind me. That's it. And I think that that's the beauty of this spiritual journey, is that we are not tied to a certain system of religion or do's and don'ts that we need to believe or we need to act upon. It's very free will orientated. It's up to you how you embrace it, learn it, and take it. But at the same time, you feel a sense of supportedness and guidedness at all times, right?
Yes.
And the more it deepens for you, the more I do this work for you or anyone else, any of my other clients I have worked with, the more it refines for me,
Mm, that's true.
right? So thank you, Sakshi, for doing this. It was
You're
my
most
pleasure to have this
welcome.
conversation.
You're most welcome, Roma.
Thanks.